Alright, welcome to part 2 of Arithmetic Sequences. We're on page 420. We're writing more rules and then graphing arithmetic sequences. So instead of them giving us a bunch of numbers in a list or a sequence, they're going to just give us some information. We know that the 11th term is 50, and we know that the common difference is 7. So after some practice, we kind of notice that there's this general equation where the nth term is the common difference times n plus the first term. Kind of looks like y equals mx plus b, right? So let's try to find the missing piece here. I know that my 11th term, when I plug in 11 for n, I know that the answer is 50. I know that my common difference is 7, which means I'm looking for a sub 1. So solving for a sub 1, I find out that it is negative 27. So my total rule is going to be a sub n equals 7n take away 27. Alright, here's my rule. And so let's go ahead and graph. Now, actually, in this case, we're really talking about n and a sub n. So when n is 1, I have 7 times 1, take away 27, I get negative 20. When n is 2, I have negative 13. When n is 3, negative 6, 4, wonder if you're noticing a pattern, 1, 5, 8, and 6, 15. What's the common difference? Okay, so we'll go ahead and graph. I need some negative numbers on my y-axis, but I don't need them on my x-axis. So 1, 2, and why don't we count by 5s? Six, 4, 1, 5, 8, and 6, 15. Remember, we are not drawing a line. We're leaving them as independent points. And so we found the rule. It looks like slope-intercept form. For a line, make our t-chart of the first 6 terms and go ahead and graph it. Okay? Let's do it one more. It's going to look a little different, and then you'll practice before you come to class tomorrow. So number 6 on page 420, they're just going to tell us that the 7th term is 71 and that the 16th term is 26. Alright, so remember, we're trying to get it into this form. A sub n equals dn plus a sub 1. Do I know a term? Yes, I know that my 7th term is 71. But that doesn't help me find this or this. I know that my 16th term is 26, but that doesn't help me find the common difference or the first term. So what I actually want to do first is find the slope. So if we think about it, this is our n, which is our x. This is our a sub n, which is our y. X, y. I actually have x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to create my old y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to go ahead (16 minus 7 is 9), so my common difference is negative 5. Alright, so now I know my common difference, And I actually already know one of the ends. I actually have two of these and two of these. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. So taking my common difference, I'm going to plug it into the equation, which I'm going to rewrite for you so you don't get lost. I'm going to use this term up here. The 26 is the 16th term. My common difference is -5. I'm going to find a sub 1. We're going to add 80 to both sides. So we have a sub 1 is 106. And now I have a rule, an equation, which is a sub n equals -5n plus 106. I wrote a rule. I can make a t-chart. And a sub n, the first 6 terms. Well, when I plug in 1, I get 101. When I plug in 2, I get 96, 91, 86, 81, and finally 76. The common difference, remember, is -5. Go ahead and graph. Looks like I don't need any negative numbers. I'm going to count by, you know what actually I'm going to do? I'm going to create a break in my graph, which I can do like that. And I'm going to start at 75 and go ahead and count by 5s. 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, and 105. So 1 is at 101, 2 is at 96, 3 is at 91, 4 is at 86, 5 is at 81, and 6 is at 76. And remember, we are not connecting the dots. We're leaving them as independent points. Okay, so this method, finding the slope first, we're going to use, and you should write this down, when they give us two independent points. They tell us the 7th term is 71. They tell us the 16th term is 26. They don't tell us the common difference. We find the common difference, and then we choose a point, plug it into our formula to find a sub 1. And I think I'm wrong about this. This is a sub 1 is 100. This is a sub 0. Make sure you change that in your notes. This is a sub 0. Okay, we're not looking for the 0th term, we're looking for the first term. It's 101. So a sub 0 is 106, and that does look like that would be where the y-intercept is. If we were asked, the y-intercept would be at 106, but it's not. It is there, we just aren't asked to graph it. A sub 0 is 106. A sub 1 is 101. So change your formula. Again, this is the method where they give us 2 points. We find the common difference, which is our slope. We use this formula to find a sub 0, and we plug it in, and then graph our first 6 terms. In number 5, the information they gave us was 1 point and the common difference. We use this formula, changing this to a sub 0, to find our a sub 0, which would have been our y-intercept. Right, our y-intercept would have been at -27 down here. Right, our first point is -20, so our first term is -20. So we found our a sub 0. We plug it back into the equation. A sub n equals 7n plus a sub 0, in this case -27. All right, so those are the types of information we reviewed here. What you are going to do is turn to page 422, try numbers 23 and 31 to see how you're doing with this now, and we're going to do more in class tomorrow.